Hello, everyone. I hope you guys doing well and your families as well.
Hi, this is Tammy Meadows, and welcome to State of the Union.
Welcome, you guys, to State of the Union. I spoke briefly last video about the reasonable accommodation, and actually, I got a lot of feedback from people. They really want to know what's going on, how that works. Are we entitled to this? Are we not entitled to this? And Tammy today coming will, in a techie mood to talk about reasonable accommodation to explain to you exactly how does that work. So please.
Okay, first, we're just gonna, your last video, you touched on a lot of things as far as reasonable accommodation is concerned. So we're gonna start with what's written so that everybody get a clearer understanding as to what reasonable accommodation is, how to get reasonable accommodation, how long you can be on it. Now, the first thing is the citywide agreement, Article 9, Section 9. The first 4 sentences actually describes reasonable accommodation. I don't want to take anything away from it. I don't want to add my own words or anything like
Just
that.
the way it is.
So I'm going to read it verbatim, okay? Any employee who is required to take a medical examination to determine if the employee is physically capable of performing the employee's full duties and who is found not so capable shall, as far as practicable, all right, be assigned to entitled and related duties in the same title during the period of the employee's disability. That right there describes reasonable accommodation. It doesn't say the word reasonable, but practicable is like the same thing as reasonable. This right here tells you that what the department deems reasonable for you to, the time frame they give you, the accommodations that they make for you, and how you go on reasonable accommodations. That you bring a note from your doctor, you fill out the request for reasonable accommodation, and they put you in a place where you have, you don't have to go out and perform your full duties, right? Yeah.
Question that they already asked me that question. Is it different between somebody in reasonable accommodation that he got hurt on the job and someone didn't get hurt on the job?
I'm gonna
Yes.
let me get to that for
Okay.
a second.
All right.
Okay, let me get to that because there's 2 parts to this. The reasonable accommodation, you have 3 times to apply for reasonable accommodation. And it's 3 months each time, so it totals up to 9 months. On the third time that you're gonna apply, after that, they say they go back and they reevaluate you to see if you're fit for duty, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So once they deem if you're unfit for duty or fit for duty, this is called a Civil Service Law 72.
72.
Okay.
Yeah.
This only applies to the people who have gotten injured off the job, have acquired an injury off the job, not for the people who have gotten hurt in the line of duty.
Okay.
Okay? So they go and they get reevaluated to determine whether or not they're actually fit for duty, right?
Yeah.
And once they do that, they can say, we're going to put you out on an involuntary disability, which means involuntary leave of absence.
Leave absent. Yeah.
They're going to say they're going to put you out for a year and then give you time to come back, right?
Okay.
This
Yeah.
does not apply to the people who got hurt on the job.
This is for people that got hurt off the job.
Off the job or have an illness that's
Okay.
not work related.
Okay.
Okay?
So, okay.
You're
Please.
you're
Yeah.
following along with me?
Yeah. Please.
Okay.
We need you to follow along with this.
Yes.
If you got hurt off the job, has nothing to do with the job. They will give you a year to go out, and you could come back, in a year to see how we're going to be able to fit for duty again or not. Okay.
Actually, and that is Section 71, Civil Service Law 71.
Which is
what you're talking about.
Yes.
They give you time to go out for a year, recuperate, and come back.
Yes.
But we're going to get to that part.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm pushing it fast.
We're going to get to that
Yeah.
part. So what happens is, once they deem you unfit for duty in the Civil Service Law Section 72, you can appeal it You have 10 days to appeal it in writing,
Mhm.
right? And after you appeal it, they have 30 days to give you a hearing because
Okay.
you're asking for a hearing. But you need to know that once they say that you're deemed for, you're still on the clock, you're still working in your position until you actually get that hearing.
Okay.
While the whole appeal process is going on, they cannot put you out.
Okay.
All right. So what happens is the doctor and everybody who's the decision made a decision for you to go out, the department, they have to provide the documentation to you as to how they came up with their decision. They have to give you all the medical records and everything that, all their stuff of how they evaluated you. Because the burden of proof is on the department, not
Yes,
on you.
yes, yes.
So they have to prove that you're actually unfit for duty.
Okay.
All right. So now this is it's very complicated, but the citywide agreement goes further along to talk about the Section 72, which is change of title and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's the citywide agreement, Section 9, also in that paragraph, it states that you can be offered, the employer shall offer the employee any available opportunity to transfer to another title for which the employee may qualify for the change of title procedure followed by the New York City Department of Citywide Administrative Services. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's written right there that the department can ask you to change your title. All right? Now, those who have 10 years of service on the job and they have a permanent disability and they're unable to perform their duties permanently.
Please listen to this. Listen to this, please. 10 years on the job.
10
you
years
cannot
of-
do the
10
job anymore.
10 years or more. 10 years or more on the job. It says if such an employee has 10 years or more a retirement system membership service, which means you're permanently on the job,
Yeah.
and is considered permanently unable to perform all the duties of the employee's title and no suitable in-title position is available, the employee shall be referred to the New York City Employees Retirement System and recommended for ordinary disability retirement. That is retirement disability. Okay?
I never understood it. Retirement disability.
Yes.
I never understood it, which is, I believe that some people will be having the same question. Now, retirement, I'm going to retire on disability. No, it's not. I'm disabled and I have to retire because I'm disabled, right?
No, you're going to go down to NICERS and you're going to get retirement disability. You're going to apply for retirement disability, which is, another thing. I don't think the members should go down there by themselves to file for retirement disability because a lot of them get turned away. Some people have to go 2-3 times.
Yeah.
I know that there was people who went down there and they got denied, but once there was a lawyer involved to help them navigate
go
the
through that
system,
part, yeah.
they actually got it. So it's not something that you want to go down there by yourself to do. You should have legal representation.
If you
to
have
help you with
10
that.
years or more on the job, you could do that. You
And
could
you're
just,
permanently unable to perform your duties.
okay. The city has to say, well, he cannot perform this duty anymore.
They
right?
would have to give you a letter stating that you can no longer perform your duties.
They're supposed
that
to verify
are
you.
Yes.
Basically, they're supposed to say, okay, you're not longer the guy that we need to do that job anymore, and just you could go for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that letter will help that you are disabled and you are applying, you have 10 years or more on the job. You can't just go down there and say, I'm going to
Do it on my own.
Yeah, because you need some documentation to state that they have put you out on disability or they're trying to put you out on disability.
You have to be thrown out. All right? You have to be thrown out. You have to tell you that said, we don't need you no more. You're not that good guy anymore, so you got to go out, and this is how you do it. One question. Now, if I go out, I have 10 years or more on the job now. I want to retire. All right? And I could just go, I could retire 10 years
You
or
can
more on
re-
the job.
you
Yeah, I
can
could
retire
retire. I know
whenever.
I'm not going to get anything. I mean, I'm going to get, $800, $900 a month, which is, being on welfare a lot easier and better and making more money. What's the difference between me retiring now on my own and this, retirement with disability?
Because you're going to have more benefits that come into play because disability is going to cover a lot of your stuff. Like, you're going to have probably more money because you have retirement plus the disability.
Okay.
You know, you have more benefits, you know, as opposed to anything and all. You can't go out on retirement disability and do some crazy stuff, but you have to.
It's
You
restricted.
you disable.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Reasonable accommodation. Why we have reasonable accommodation? Us.
We have reasonable accommodation because we do not have light duty.
Restricted
know.
duty. When
Right.
you go to the doctor,
We don't have right.
it's so crazy. You know that the department forcing us to say something wrong on really documentation. They're really forcing us to do this. You know, false documentation. We do this all the time. You're sick. You cannot do the job. You cannot perform the job. But you have to tell your doctor. Doctor says, okay, you know, listen, go back to work. But you don't do. You said no, I can't. They're not gonna take it. You have to tell me. You have to write in this documentation, which is not real. It's not true that I'm 100% fit for duty.
Right.
So this is one of the things
You
that
cannot
have-
return back to work with any limitations,
Restriction, yeah.
any restrictions whatsoever.
Yes.
You have to return back. You don't have to say return to full duty. That's it. No restrictions. Now the thing is that people are returning because, you know, when you're out on workman's comp, your benefits stop.
Yes.
But for your children and so on, you still get covered by workman's comp. But but the children and everything they're no longer on, your spouse no longer on your
Absolutely,
benefits.
yes.
So, and that doesn't cover, the normal sicknesses that may happen,
Well-
because you're sick.
Let me
It only covers workers'
let me
comp.
take just a few seconds. I'm going to explain something to you. Listen, we learn from each other's mistakes, and we learn during. I see something happen with her, so I learn from it. And you guys, I see something happen with one of us, so I learn from it. So something happened with me. I was out on workers' compensation, and during the time I was out, I felt so sick. So they took me to the hospital. Of course, my kids lost all their benefit. Nobody have his benefit anymore. I thought I do have it, so they took me to the hospital. The ambulance actually took me from the house to the hospital, and then I find out that I have a kidney stone. And right now, I'm facing a court martial that I owe the hospital $8,700, and the court already make his final decision that the marshal going after me for this money. So as you just said now, you cannot, if you're on compensation, you cannot go out. You're not covered if you get cold, if you get viruses, if you got anything else. So unless you are out, you got hurt on the job, your legs, something wrong with your legs, so you have to go out with this issue. Otherwise, you're not going to be covered.
No, you're not going to. When you're out on workman's comp, all of your medical, everything stops. You're just covered by workman's comp, and that's it.
Only the issue.
The workman's comp
Yes.
benefit. That's it. They give you the option of registering for some other type of insurance, which is COBRA or something like that.
But
but
still
then
you pay
have to-
money. I mean-
no, you have to pay a fee up front for COBRA. So a lot of people, can't pay that.
Continue to do. Why we don't have restricted duty?
Because we are civilian,
Oh.
and we, unlimited and sick and all that stuff that comes with, that doesn't come underneath us. We're still covered by the citywide agreement, the civilian part of this right here. Our negotiations are done as civilians, and we don't have unlimited sick, and we don't have light duty. Whereas as a police officer would get injured or something, they would be behind the desk. But our members are forced to come back to work because they can live off 2/3 of their salary, which is what workman's comp pay. So a lot of them, the Civil Service Law Section 71 give you a whole year to come back. But by the time all the documentation and the therapists and the MRIs and things like that and the surgeries happen going down the pipeline, that year, and you get your surgery probably maybe 3 months close to your end of
the year.
Right.
So you have to
you have to
get your
recuperate.
2Ks and just come back to work. Hurry
Right.
up to come back to work.
So
Yes.
they come back injured.
Mhm.
They come back injured, and then they have to, say, put me without any restrictions. Then they come back on the books to break that inactivity, and then they go back
Go
out.
back again.
Or some people come back, and because they can't do the work, because they can't stay out and live on the 2/3, they will ask for reasonable accommodation.
Which you go to that category we just spoke about.
And the city says reasonably they give you X amount of time to recover. So
And I don't
That's
see
fine.
how that work. I mean, There's anything else we need to cover with this reasonable accommodation?
Well, it's like I said, it's a whole gamut of things. Civil Service Law 71 through 73 covers the
71, 73, yeah.
termination, how a person gets terminated, their rights and everything, so on and so forth. What is involuntary leave of absence or involuntary disability. Now, the thing that we need to find out is if they are violating, when they put people out, and if they are violating the American Disability Act. That is something that we need to find out.
Yes.
Because if you're discriminated against someone because of their disability, that is a problem.
That's a big problem,
So,
yes.
right, so we also need to find out how many people on workman's comp have been asked to change their title. If there is such people out there, we need to find that out.
Well, I have some news that they give you a notification first, and they tell you, okay, you're gonna go for the typing, the typo test, so to test you out, see if you're gonna fit in the job that they choose for you or not. And if you're not, if you fail that test, now it's up to them to put you anywhere they want. Which is, I don't think it's illegal. That's illegal because you're supposed to match your salary before the title, and it's either you match it or go higher.
Well, the thing is that we need to find out the verbiage that they're using. Are they giving them options or are they giving them ultimatums?
Orders, yeah, okay.
Because there's a difference. I can give you the option to stay or go. Or if I'm giving you an ultimatum and saying you have to take this, then that's a problem. That's something that we need to look at, the verbiage. The typing test, which is, I think for, what is it for? It's for principal administrative associate. That's what the typing test is for. And it's called a selective certification. That typing test is called selective certification. That means that you pass the typing test and they can they can appoint you as a PAA.
Okay, they could do that if you pass that test.
Yes. So, the civil service and all that stuff, you don't, the test and everything, you don't have to take it. It's called selective certification.
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, we could answer, if you have to speak, we're going to speak about a lot of stuff, and it's all in here. If you need a copy, let us know, and if you have a question, that would be easy for us to answer it next time. We could have just a few minutes in the beginning of the next video and answer your question. I think that would help a lot, because we know that everyone have a different story, different things going on, and we would love to help you guys individual, but we try as hard as possible to get it done. So that's I guess with that being said, anything else you want to add on?
No, I just want to say we just start here.
Yeah.
What's written, and then we just put everything in a category and sort it out and see where we go from there, and why we're here. That's the most important thing.
It's true. Listen, guys, we're here for you anytime that you want us. Ask, and please don't have to be shy to ask question, and there's no stupid question, and there's no little question. You could ask anything you want, and we're gonna keep bother Tammy, and Tammy bother me all the time for that. So listen, with that being said, we guys will see you next time. Next time is gonna be a good video because we're gonna be talking about the overtime and how's the overtime being, how we get involved in that mess with the overtime. So please, with that being said again, we love you all, and we're working hard for us, all of us together. We'll see you soon. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Later.